So today we are playing CODARUS. Please forgive all of these ocean sounds, all this wind. I'm on a deserted island. I mean, I just almost died. I'm tired. I'm wet. Let's just talk about CODARUS. Okay. Oh my. Sorry. There's a crab. 1 second. Okay. Sorry. There's a crab. I'm on a beach. There's a crab crawling on my leg. CODARUS is the poster boy of cursed Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Everybody knows he's very conditional and far from the meta, but yet there is a devoted fan base that tries to make him work. And I think it's just something about his aura, his demeanor. There's something legendary about this card. The way he looks at you, the way he's got this green gem on his head. I mean, he pulled me into the ocean and almost killed me, and I still love him, so. It's my turn to try this time-honored tradition of breaking CODARUS, and by break, I mean make the deck much, much worse. Let's read the card itself. It says, you can send one face-up Yuumi you control to the graveyard to target up to 2 cards your opponent controls. Send those targets to the graveyard. This non-destruction removal is insane against an established board, but this card struggles in its lack of versatility. Without a Yuumi to send, you just have a very weak, watery boy, kind of like me in the current state on this beach. So my thought is, let's make this deck even more conditional. Let's throw in a ton of cards that only work with specific other cards. And I mean, that's basically the theme of this entire deck, so why don't we embrace it? Let's hope we draw the right parts of our deck together and just see if we can make it work. This is manifested firstly in Tornado Wall, a card that requires you to have Yuumi face up on the field or it does nothing. But when it does something, it does a lot. Because if you have this up, your opponent can just never kill you. Unless they're playing Burn. Don't play against Burn. Tornado Wall aside, this deck is a water machine deck. Which I know what you're thinking. The whole concept is oxymoronic. I mean, wouldn't the water stop the machines from working? And in a way, yes, this deck is very bad. But there are some strange synergies that Curse Tech is all about. Let me tell you about them. First of all, the Gear Town field spell aspect. The Legendary Ocean is a field spell and a highly searchable field spell. Warrior of Atlantis can discard itself to search the Legendary Ocean from the deck, and a respectable 1900 attack stat is nothing to scoff at. Secondly, there are a few water attribute machines, but the one I'm most interested in is Amphibious Bugroth MK3. This card is a direct attacker, a tradition in Yu-Gi-Oh that is sometimes good, but most of the time dog water bad. But this card has 1500 attack and goes up to 1700 attack when the Legendary Ocean is active. A 1700 attack direct attacker is not too bad, but the main synergy I'm trying to exploit is the Floodgates, Level Limit, Area B, and Gravity Bind. These cards stop level 4 monsters from attacking, and as you can see, Amphibious Bugroth MK3 is a level 4 monster. But did you realize that a Legendary Ocean reduces the level of all water monsters on the field and in both players' hands by 1? This means this card can attack your opponent directly while you have a Floodgate up, and even if they keep setting monsters, maybe you could win the game. Now, this card does not have any protection. A single battle trap will stop you and ruin your entire day, but I mean, maybe we can activate limiter removal on this card and attack for 3000 directly. I bet you all thought Season 2 of Curse Tech would get better. Does that really sound like me? Do I look like a guy that is going to be making decks get better? I am doing my job right if the decks perpetually get worse and perpetually get more cursed. So, yeah. I'm not doing anything. I'm chilling on a beach. I don't know what you guys are doing. There's sea creatures all around me. Let us get into some duels. This first duel, we are up against Nordalaris, and we are going second. Our opening hand looks pretty dang okay. I mean, it's pretty good. We've got CODARUS and a way to get to the Legendary Ocean. My opponent's going to activate Gold Sarcophagus, banish a future fusion from their deck. They will get that in 2 turns, set a monster, and pass their turn. we draw a terraforming. We're going to use that terraforming to search for a gear town. We're going to set that gear town. Then we're going to discard this Warrior of Atlantis to add a legendary ocean to our hand. We're then going to set this legendary ocean over the gear town. This will destroy the gear town via game mechanic to summon out a Gear Galvatron Dragon from the deck. This card has 3,000 attack. We're then going to normal summon this CODARUS and use its effect to send the legendary ocean to send his face down monster. It was a plague spreader, but I mean, it could have been a recruiter. We had to do that. We're going to go into the battle phase and attack directly with CODARUS for 1,400 damage. Then we can attack for 3,000 damage directly. I'm just kidding. Not 3,000, 6,000. Limiter removal is such a funny card. Oh my god. So now, if he had Gores, he would have a 6,000 attack Gores token, but he doesn't. So now he has 600 life points. We have brain control. We're hoping... Oh, never mind. We draw 2 new cards, and we have cards that don't really do anything. So if he clears this CODARUS, we are going to have a terrible time. He uses a bunch of draw cards. He's then going to special summon a Dark Grepher from his hand. Then he's going to use the Plague Spreader effect in the graveyard to special summon it, make a Yugioh Guardian attack over our CODARUS, and steal it, dealing some damage to us. And we don't really have anything to out this, so let's hope we draw something good. That is very, very good. We summon Amphibious Bugroth MK3, and because Yumi is on the field, he's dead. He is just effing dead. All right, okay. That was an interesting game. That will happen every time. Don't worry. That's going to happen every time we duel with this deck. All right, it is time for game number 2, and my opponent is playing fairies. We get to go first, and our opening hand looks okay. I mean, we've got Fortress. We also have Legendary Ocean and the Tornado Wall, so we've got the God combo. We're going to win, but we're going to set a bluff. My opponent normal summons Dimensional Alchemist. They hit a monster off the Dimensional Alchemist. They're able to crash into our gear frame, add the monster from the banished pile to their hand. They're then going to activate Gold Sarcophagus, banishing a Heavy Storm, and then they pass the turn. We are going to special summon a Fortress from our hand, normal summon a Warrior of Atlantis, attack our opponent for 1,900, and they have Gores. We can attack into this monster with the Fortress, and Fortress is really good into Honest because when it is destroyed by battle, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So we trade for the Honest, but we also get to take out this Gores. We then are going to pass the turn. My opponent draws for turn, they go into the battle phase, crash with our Warrior of Atlantis, sets a back row, and then passes the turn. We draw a Machine, which we could summon if we wanted to with the Legendary Ocean because this reduces the level. So we just summon this Fortress, go into the battle phase, try to attack our opponent. They have the Call of the Haunted. They will summon back this Gores, but that's no problem for us because we can crash with the Fortress and do the exact same thing as last time to destroy it. We use the effect, and they have Herald of Orange Light, but honestly, that's probably fine. My opponent draws for turn, they get this Heavy Storm to their hand. He has 4 fairies, so he can special summon this Christia from his hand. The Christia adds the Dimensional Alchemist. He can then normal summon the Dimensional Alchemist, banish a card. He then goes into the battle phase before activating Heavy Storm, and no battle damage for you. This is what this deck does. I mean, is it good? No. Is it funny? No. He's then going to go into main phase 2, activate Heavy Storm, which will kill his Gores, so we like that trade, and he passes his turn. And now we draw a Gear Town, but it doesn't matter because we have the God card, Level Limit Area B. Just some real riveting gameplay from this deck. It always feels good when you just have Level Limit. And okay, we draw the card that I talked about in the deck profile. Surely we have Yumi. We can attack directly, right? No. We can't, because a Legendary Ocean is the card that reduces the level by 1. This doesn't reduce anything by 1, so this card is level 4 that will get changed to defense position by Level Limit Area B. We're dueling. This is dueling. Don't worry, guys. This is dueling. This is riveting gameplay. Okay, we finally decide to do something. Just decide to do anything at all. Just kidding, he has Torrential. Okay, maybe this is something we can do. We activate Legendary Ocean, and then we summon this guy, and he has Bottomless. And then we're just passing the turn. And we're passing the turn. I don't even know what to say. I feel sick. I feel sick. I feel gross. Oh my god. All right, okay. I guess it's time for game number 3. I don't even. This is looking very similar to last game. This is looking like peak fun Yu-Gi-Oh. We've got Floodgates and Solemn Judgment. We're having a great time. I can't. I don't even... Does it really matter? Okay. Does it really matter if I win this game or not? Do you think I feel good about winning this game? Look at what's happening. Do you think this is fun? Do you think we're having it? I don't want... You know what? Sure, we can stop our opponent from ever doing damage. But, like... What then? It's so... I hate it. This is awful. You guys don't deserve to see if I win or lose. We all lost. We all lost in the end from being forced to watch this. And now for the tier list. I mean, this deck is awful. This deck is so frustrating to play. It's probably because you're just constantly bricking on either side of your deck. I mean, actually, this deck is more like an octagon. There's like 8 sides of this deck. And your opponent feels gross when after they use Heavy Storm, you just flip a Floodgate. And they're like, yeah, this is fun. We can pass back and forth, have a good time. Maybe look at the sky. Well, I'm on the beach, so I can look at the sky. But my opponent's probably stuck in their room, and they're not having a good time. So, God, this deck is so cursed. I mean, there are some interesting interactions that I don't think many people have explored before. I mean, the attacking directly, the water machines. I mean, there's like... No, actually, there's nothing there. There's actually nothing there. Maybe the correct game plan is to try to use Inferno Reckless Summon to summon 3 of this guy from the deck and then attack directly with all of them. Therefore, I'm going to put this mechanical aquatic trash in the only place it deserves to be: unplayable trash. I mean, for the love of God, please get this stuff out of the ocean. So... yeah, after a horrible day of being dragged into the ocean and being forced to duel with a terrible deck, there's really only one thing left to do.
Zuxin.